So I want to take some time here and share with you some thoughts that I've had towards how to teach young kids to shoot and by what progression we should be using. Because I'm finding in my analysis of teaching young kids to shoot, I'm struggling with the wrist shot and its relevance as a transition shot to the more relevant shots that are going to be needed from a quick release perspective later on. So this all started when I got more engaged with my daughter's shooting. She's 9. I've never really taught her to shoot. I've been completely focused on weight transfer, catching the puck, stick handling the puck, all those things. And I purposely left shooting as one of the last basic skills on the list. And one of my struggles is I don't like the wrist shot motion with respect to how important the weight transfer is to every other shot. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about because I think it's worth the discussion. And at this point, I've exclusively focused on the snapshot as the early stages of development for her. And I think the early results are very, very promising for me because the motion of the snapshot stays more in line with the true movement patterns that I want her to have as she progresses through each level of shot quality. So in the wrist shot, what I'm struggling with is when young kids shoot the wrist shot. When I say young, I'm being like anyone between 6 and 9 years old, or 6 and 10 years old. What they do is they take the puck and they pull it back like this, and in doing so, they put themselves on their heels. So you'll see kids kind of like this. And they're trying to recruit as many muscles as they possibly can in their body. And then what they do is they twist their body. So it's not really a weight transfer, it's more of a twisting action from here. So this shoulder comes back and then the whole torso torques like this on a straight plane. So the plane of movement and the power recruitment is all on this plane, which is a lateral plane parallel to the ice, as opposed to a downward force plane, which is more like this. In more elite shooting, you want the plane to go down this way, and you want this shoulder to be dropping towards the ice. So when you look at the wrist shot, and in transitioning a kid from a wrist shot motion, where they're going to take the puck from here, they pull it back, and then they get into the wrist shot motion and that torquing of the body. And now you want to flip them into more relevant shooting for when they're 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we're talking about more snapshot type movements. So what I've done with her is I've stayed inside the principles of that level of shooting. So I've had her inside of the weight transfer. So what I want her to be able to do is take the puck from here, shift it here, and then in that motion while she's here, I want her to snap the puck on this plane. So she's dropping straight down. I want her to use this action of the stick on the puck. And I want her to get the power from the weight transfer and recruit the lower body. Because that's the other problem with the wrist shot is it can be very upper body dominant. And the lower body really never gets involved from a meaningful perspective in terms of weight transfer. And I want her to have the most full body type shot as she can and create some fluidity and ultimately be able to shoot the puck inside that weight transfer. So right now what I have her doing is when she gets here, I want her to get her weight here like this with the stick drawn back, use her stick to come down and drop this shoulder inside that weight transfer and try to get the power from the downward force, number one, as well as the weight transfer in concert. So by using downward force and inside that weight transfer, I'll be able to recruit the whole body and get it on the plane I want. And I'm struggling right now with some of our kids in our development league because I find it's difficult to get them to transition from the wrist shot motion into the downward force motion. Now, it's not to say they won't get it, but there's definitely an adjustment period. And what I'm questioning now is whether or not we should really be introducing the wrist shot as the actual first shot. I'm more inclined to think that the snapshot motion is more what we're looking for. The other thing that also bothers me is when you get young kids, all they want to do, of course, is get a razor. So in getting that razor, their actual movement is coming up. So when they torque their body in the wrist shot motion, they'll let this shoulder fold back like this, and they actually come off the shot. So they pull the power off the shot in an effort to get it up. They don't care how it gets up, they just want it up. So that principle lends itself really well, and that ability or that adaptation lends itself really well because of the torque plane. But when you're in a snapshot motion, it's very difficult to hold that, and if you want to get the puck up, you're going to have to improve your weight transfer and your downward force. You're going to have to get those in concert. So that's the debate I'm going through right now as I've started this process and the shooting process with my daughter. I'm now questioning how we should really approach the shooting from a young age. And I have a lot of questions now as to after encountering so many challenges relative to the torque motion versus downward pressure and weight shift.